Have you ever taken a minute to think about the things that are holding you back from what it is you want to accomplish? And I mean the internal things, right? The excuses that we make up, the obstacles that we see that are in our way. When we really step back and take that 10,000-foot view, what are those obstacles and those limiting beliefs and those things that are in our way? And are they real? My name is Amber Furman, and this is the More Than Corporate podcast. Welcome to the More Than Corporate podcast. I'm Amber Furman, recovering perfectionist and serial accomplisher. If you're anything like I used to be, you've been living your life thinking that if you accomplish enough stuff, you'll finally find the success you've always wanted. But what if it's not about accomplishing more stuff? What if it's about accomplishing the right stuff? I believe you don't find success, you create it by intentionally designing the life you want and having the courage to get out of your comfort zone to live your design. I went from doing what I was supposed to do to doing what I love to do, and now I get to help others do the same. Keep listening as I chat with inspiring people who make it their mission to live their best life every day and learn how you too can live the life you've always wanted. Before we dig into this episode, I want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by Success Development Solutions and the Design Your Life Book Club. I'm really excited to bring this to you. Why a book club? Why read at all? The reality is when you read, you learn from somebody who has not only made the mistakes and learned from them, but has a different perspective of the world than you do that can show you things that you may not otherwise understand. And then when you read those and you read it in a group of people who can bring their perspectives and their learnings to it, that adds another layer. Then when you join the Design Your Life Book Club and I actually introduce you to the authors, you get that final layer of learning and understanding and connection. It's the perfect triangle of how to really start to build a foundation that you can build your business and your life on. If this sounds like something that you need, connection, accountability, growth, change of perspective, if you're ready to take your life and business to the next level, then the Design Your Life Book Club is for you. Click the Calendly link below in this episode and let's jump on a call and see if it's a good fit for you. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this episode. All right, the obstacles that are in our head, what are those, right? One of my favorite things to do is scroll through my Facebook memories and look at what I was posting and where I thought I was years and years and years ago. And it just shows that there's these levels of awareness that we go through. There's the unaware, and then there's kind of aware, like consciously aware, and then like it, but do you really know it on an unconscious level? And so I would say probably 5 years ago, I was posting things that I knew consciously, but didn't really understand unconsciously. Now, this was right around the time that I had started obstacle course racing. And so I was starting to get out of my comfort zone and push myself to these new levels and these new heights. As I continued to do this, I would run across these motivational things that just sounded good to me. And I thought, yeah, like that's the way it should be, but I didn't really understand them. And one of those things was the picture of the horse that's tied to a little blue plastic chair. And it says, sometimes the things that hold you back are all in your head. That has continued to be one of my absolute favorite metaphors until yesterday. So I'm sitting on my couch, I'm watching some TV, and I watch my dog, whose crate is right next to the TV, and I always keep it open for her to go in whenever she'd like and come out. Very rarely is it locked unless I'm on a podcast interview or somebody's in my house doing maintenance or something to that effect. So it's usually open for her. So she opens the door with her head and she walks in and sniffs around, which isn't uncommon for her. And then all of a sudden I look at her and she's just sitting there staring at me. And I thought, what are you doing, you weirdo? Right? So I'm looking at her and I'm watching her stare at me. And about a minute goes by and she's not laying down. She's just looking at me, thinking, man, this is really, really weird. So I call her. And she just looks at me, and I have some chicken next to me. So I grabbed some chicken and I called her, and she really wanted the chicken and she still wouldn't move. And then I see her paw like in the air, like she wants me to open the door. And when she does, the door moves just a little bit. And I think she realizes that it's not actually closed. And then she pushes it a little bit with her head, and out she comes and is all excited, right? She's all excited. So I don't know what happened in the mind of my dog in the 20 seconds between when she walked in the crate and when she turned around and sat down. She had just walked through the door, right? She just walked through the door on herself. I hadn't moved. Yet when she sat down, she was convinced that door was closed. So think about this for a minute. What box have you put yourself into? What doors do you think are closed that aren't closed? What are you waiting for other people to fix for you? What doors are you waiting for them to open for you that aren't actually closed at all? Have you taken a look at the things that you think hold you back? The statements that you make that say, I wish I could, but I wish I could do these things, but I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the resources. When did you decide that? When did you decide to put yourself in the I don't have time box? When did you decide to put yourself in the I don't have money box? When did you decide to put yourself in the I don't have resources box? And when are you going to choose to allow yourself to exit out of those? The reality is, everything that holds us back is in our head. Is it impossible to overcome some things? Maybe. Not usually. Usually what holds us back is completely in our head. So whether it's that horse that's tied to that little blue chair, or whether it's the dog that's sitting in a crate looking at you, waiting for you to open a door that's already opened, whether it's you sitting in a job that you are unhappy with, sitting in a profession that didn't bring you the fulfillment that you thought it would, continuing to live every single day thinking that if you just accomplish more stuff, that everything will fall into place. Telling yourself that you don't have the time to travel, that you don't have the time to do the things that you want to do, that you don't have the money or the resources to be able to go out and learn the things that you want to learn to better your life. When did you decide to put yourself in those crates? And when are you going to push the door open? Because nobody has locked them. My name is Amber Fuhriman. This is the More Than Corporate podcast. And always remember that you have the ability to design the life that you've always wanted. And you owe it to yourself to get out of your comfort zone and live it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the More Than Corporate podcast. If anything that was said during this episode resonated with you or provided value in any way, it would mean the world to me if you would head over to iTunes and leave a rating and review for the More Than Corporate podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. If you'd also like to connect, I've created a Facebook group that is full of amazing people who also make it their mission to live their best life every single day. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, the name of that Facebook group is Success Center. Head over there, request to join, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.